What's up, everybody? It's your boy Keefe. I am back. It is Thursday. You know what time it is. It's time for the weekly ritual Ghost Cults rock and metal news show everywhere all over the web. The best experience for this is usually Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram, but I'm hanging out on TikTok. Pitch Black North is here. Transistor is here. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for being here. You could choose to watch anybody's show, but if you're watching me, I'm grateful. Room's kind of a mess up here. But anyway, getting out of Dodge soon. Late on a Thursday, doing the damn thing. That's what we do here. That's all we do here. How's everybody doing? It's spooky season. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in the music world. Alden and King Snake Jake is back. My girlfriend would like to know why I am so gorgeous looking on my live streams. I think it's the lighting is very kind. To be honest, Melissa, the lighting is good. I do best under soft, beautiful lighting. I look the nicest, but thank you. I appreciate you. So, wild shit going on, lots to talk about. Let's unpack the show for you. We do all the departments and recap you on what you have missed. Let us bring in the deck. I've been rocking these Halloween themed images all week long, all month long. This is the best time of the year. I don't really want to think about the holidays until after November 1st. I like to enjoy Halloween as much as humanly possible. Every day is Halloween if you try hard enough. And I just don't want to think about the holidays. Poppy put out a banger cover for Christmas already, and I'm like, yeah, it's still October. I don't care about Christmas yet. Anyway. We always start these shows off with the announcements, and thank you, dear. And we have some heavy ones. You know, we're still kind of reeling from the death of Ace Frehley last week. Ghost Cult turned 13. We're still doing some celebrations and libations. Last few hours to enter our giveaway for tickets to see the Cult, Death Cult, Failure, and Patriarchy in LA, and this is probably the last show before the band goes on a very extended hiatus. If not, maybe permanently. We'll see. I have more to discuss. Put out a statement I'll bring to you later. But again, the loss of Ace Frehley has just hurt me so much right after Ozzy and Brent Hines and a bunch of other people, John Lodge. We also lost Sam Rivers of Limp Bizkit. I think people knew he was unwell, but not as bad off. I don't think the reporting of that was done especially well by my peers in the scene, but, I'm going to do what I do with some ethics and some care, because you never know if his family is finding out last or whatever. But rest in peace to Sam Rivers. What a definite shame that he passed away at 48, too young, between cancer probably and his liver and kidney problems from his years of drinking. And Anthony Jackson, one of the greatest bassists to ever do the damn thing. He's also on several of my favorite jazz albums of all time. He's also played countless commercials. He was really a wonder on the bass instrument. Just very sad that he is gone. Also, this one kind of took me by surprise. This was sent to me. This one kind of caught me off guard. I won't lie. Where's my notes? I'm sorry. Here we go. Yeah. So this is Virginia Lilly, who is like the Australian Pat Benatar, hard rock female singer, longtime artist. She also succumbed to a battle with cancer. Very sad. And then this one also kind of got me, Glenn LaFerman is a photographer from the LA area. You've probably seen his work shooting the greatest bands in heavy metal and rock and punk rock, and was really known for his street photography in the Sunset Strip and, Roxy and the Rainbow era. James of the Saw, what's up? I am out of San Francisco personally, but Ghost Cult is a worldwide collective of writers, photographers. This is what we do. We do this all over the world. We are not corporate backed, so I'll drop the tip menu in a second if you want to give us some tips for good service. We appreciate it. And on to the happier things, birthdays. this week include Metallica bassist Robert Trujillo, who is 61, Dan Lilker of Nuclear Assault and SOD and a bunch of other Total Fucking Destruction and a bunch of other bands, also in his 60s. Tom Petty would have been 75 this week. This is an adorable photo his daughter posted of them on swings. Sam Loeffler of Chevelle had a birthday this week. Mitch Lucker would have celebrated a birthday, the original Suicide Silence singer and vocalist. I interviewed him once for a different website, and he was super nice. So I'm very sad that he met an untimely demise. Olvin Morris passing by, a ghost cultist. Look forward to working with you again soon, my friend. Also, Daryl Jennifer of Bad Brains celebrated a birthday yesterday, arguably the greatest bassist in punk rock. Weird Al Yankovic celebrates a birthday this week. All this Libra activity as well as Scorpio to follow. And Nick Oliveri, formerly of Queens of the Stone Age and Caius and a bunch of other bands. Joe Marquez is here. What up, what up? Nick Oliveri, great guy. Be a very interesting guest for dinner at your house. And one of my favorite drummers of all time, Dale Crover of Melvins and his solo work, celebrated a birthday this week. He's also, I think, 61. All right. With a little different approach. Some albums celebrating anniversaries this week include Soulfly, Ritual, Ghost's debut, Opus Eponymous, Defiance, The Prophecy, love this one, Slipknot's 5, The Gray Chapter, after Paul Gray passed away, and Death Human, easily my favorite Death album. I love all these albums, to be honest with you. Not that many this week, so I condensed it down a little bit to save time. What else is happening this week? All right. Let's, just in case you want to drop us some tips, we'll always answer your questions for free, but if you'd like to support us, we appreciate it. Here is what we offer. And I think I raised the price on that Rate Your Song Live is $25. And again, my preference is for y'all to join me on YouTube, where it's easiest for me to do that. But if you DM me your music, if you have a band, Mark Badger is back. What up, pal? If you DM me your music, or at least your account on TikTok, I will follow you. It's easier for me to do this, play a song live on the air on the show from one of the YouTube channels we have. And so, yeah, I'm appreciative of anybody that wants to support us. Again, not family, not friends, nobody that works for me, but anybody else. We do this. It's a lot of work. We do this all over the world. We put in a lot of hours and time to do this. Like I was, not to disparage anybody. I had a hopefully Maiden announces more than 12 shows. We're going to talk about that, Mark, because it's very interesting. Foo Fighters 2 announced a tour. We'll talk about that. Like not that many dates. I don't kind of know what the logic is there. It's very expensive to come tour and only play, 2 handfuls of shows. But if you feel like tipping, we appreciate it. And here's our Cash App. That's my Cash App lately is the thing that I've been getting a lot of hits on. Plus super likes and super thanks on the tube of you. Thanks for everybody watching. All right, features this week here at Ghost Cult. We dropped 2 premieres today. One was the Chicago post-grunge band Lavisher, and they have a new album coming out, and they dropped a new single with us today. And I thought, this is a really good band. Sort of a DIY Chicago area band, and what a cool song! Like very unexpected, lots of different flavors happening in the band. And then also, so Lavisher's new song is Detached. And then we did a premiere for the German black metal band Die Rote Milan. I believe that is how you say it. I hope I am not wrong. And their new single, Aus der Finsternis, their new album is coming out soon, out in Europe. So we shared those things today, and very exciting about them. I've been doing live streams. I did a few this week. Obviously, yesterday we went live and premiered, or Tuesday we went live and recapped the entire Sick New World, show, like announcement, which we'll talk about a little bit in a minute. But if you want an in-depth analysis of both Sick New World Las Vegas and Sick New World Texas, and if it's going to be worth it for you to go, watch that video next. Of course, you can watch that video by liking and subscribing and finding out whenever we go live here on the channel. Also, every week, the rest of October and November, we are going to be announcing 2 new bands every Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, whatever time overnight in Europe, probably 1 a.m. in London. And we're going to be announcing bands for the debut inaugural amazing Mojave Experience Festival taking place in Joshua Tree, March 20th and 21st. Very likely you will see my face there with a little crew of ghost culters. I've never been to Joshua Tree. I would like to go, not because I like you too, because I don't, but just seemed fun to go. Seems like a beautiful place and a beautiful place to hear music. Interviews this week. We ran our new interview with the Acacia Strains. Devin Chitticker, we've interviewed him before. New album, You Are Safe from Gaudier, out tomorrow, this weekend on Rise Records. I've listened to it. It fucking kills. It's so good. Also, my new interview with Dave Davidson of Revocation, longtime favorite of Ghost Cult. Not really supposed to have favorites or play favorites, but I can't lie. I spent a lot of time with this guy. He is a wizard of death metal guitar. He is also a genius jazz guitarist and, jazz, maybe, low-key jazz historian. He and I have had nerd out sessions before talking a lot of stuff. So check out my new interview with those guys. A lot of brutality this week in the interview section. More stuff coming soon to the YouTube and podcasts. Also, the Glacially Musical Podcast, Beer Metal and Swearing. We finally got the gang back together. All 3 hosts were there, the host and the 2 co-hosts, and we poured one out for Ace. Last Friday, I did a little tribute to Ace with my buddy Ken Pierce of Piercing Metal, and then Don, Nick, and I did our usual show with a lengthy discussion about Ace. I thought we did a really nice job paying tribute to the guy. Anyway, again, I mentioned earlier, it's your last chance to win tickets to see the Cult in LA. This is probably it for them. Scooters here. What up, pal? Good to see you. Good to see you. The Cult sounds like they are hanging it up for a long time after this, if may be forever. But they have been going for 3 straight years as a touring entity, so Anyway, metal festivals. And, of course, we're starting with Sick New World. And I'll embiggen this a little bit for your benefit. I have these posters backwards, but Texas is taking place this time next year, exactly a year from now. System of a Down, Deftones, Slayer, Evanescence, Manson, Prodigy, Knock Loose, Mastodon, Power Trip, bunch of other bands. Sick New World Vegas is still going to take place in late April. System of a Down, Korn, Bring Me the Horizon in a rare American festival performance. Evanescence, Marilyn Manson, Knock Loose, Cypress Hill, Mastodon, Filter, and a bunch of others. That Texas show also has Down, Acid Bath, and Clutch. Wow. And Failure. Pretty fucking rad. And Melvins. And Health. And Corporate Brute. And Kitty. Both of them have Kitty. So anyway, check out our very in-depth video on that. Orange 9mm just passed by. Love y'all. Good to see y'all. New music. Hopefully hoping for some new music. So in addition to the Iron Maiden tour, that we were just talking about, Mark, it's confirmed now. I was looking at the dates. Louisville, Kentucky, September 20th. So Iron Maiden is going to headline Louder Than Life in Kentucky in September. And then we're going to talk about the rest of their tour, which is probably very brief. For me, very brief. Again, Mojave Experience. We're now up to 8 bands announced for the festival, with many more to come. Tune in next Monday, and we will share some more with you. Right. Also, Welcome to Rockville has announced a bunch more bands, including The Offspring and Rise Against, who have a pretty cool new album out. I didn't love The Offspring's new album. It's just a concert. It's a charity event. It's kind of got a festival-looking lineup. This Sunday, October 26th in Los Angeles, Above Ground 4 at the Fonda Theater. 2 iconic albums being performed in their entirety with an all-star band and special guests. Live on stage performing at the New York Dolls at the Cars, Corey Taylor, Billy Idol. What does Corey Taylor think? DMC, what up? Rick Springfield, Sully Erna of Godsmack, Elliot Easton of the Cars, who's very reclusive and doesn't come out much, Stevie Stevens, Billy Morrison, Nuno Betancourt of Extreme, Josh Freese of Nine Inch Nails, Be Real of Cypress Hill, Billy Howardell of A Perfect Circle, Matt Junkins of A Perfect Circle, Scott Schreiner of Weezer, Gilby Clarke, Fred Corey of Cinderella, Jesse the Devil Hughes of Eagles of Death Metal, and a bunch more. Donovan Leitch is in there, Frankie Perez is in there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. This looks really good. If you are in the LA area and you want to support a good cause for charity, go check this shit out. Damnation Festival's around the corner. Corrosion Conformity, Napalm Death, Perturbator, Death Heaven, Amun-Ra, Orbit Culture, High on Fire, The Haunted. Hellfest, not the Hellfest in France, but the Hardcore Hellfest. That also, there's some beef about that name. We already know that Hellfest West is coming this February. Hellfest East, I guess, or Hellfest Prime, or Hellfest Just, will be taking place July 3rd, 4th, and 5th in New Jersey. So that's pretty cool. We have some more Trustkill Records news later. All right, that's the brief look at concerts and the brief look at festivals, and now on to the concerts. So Rush originally announced like 10 shows, and then they announced 15 more shows, and then they announced 17 more shows. So understandably, a lot of people who bought tickets for those first dates that thought, oh, I better shell out a lot of money because I'm not going to get these tickets. Now there's a lot of opportunity to see these bands. And I suspect a lot of these tickets are going to hit the resale market closer to the show on, like, you know, Game Time app or StubHub. And it's going to be a lot of angry people that paid like $600 for the floor and $50 for upstairs. So, you know, I love Rush. I want them to do well. I think this is a dry run for other things. Those two guys didn't, you know, want to lose their career because their best friend and their drummer died. I don't have a problem with them coming back. I don't have a problem with, unfortunately, they're in bed with Ticketmaster like everybody else. You never feel confident. You know what? I've had a very good experience with Game Time for both sports and for music, DJ Crimson. So I'm going to tell you that, yeah, I absolutely think those are reputable apps. But I understand if you've had a personal bad experience too. Okay, moving on. Just saw Judas Priest and Alice Cooper last week. Our coverage of this tour is coming tomorrow morning to the site. There are just a few dates left in the tour. Austin and Houston. So basically Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, no worries, DJ Crimson, no worries. I wouldn't steer you wrong. I have nothing to gain. Thank you so much for liking the live, and if you guys like rock and metal news and interviews with bands and all kinds of fun, cool things, give us a subscribe and a like. Iron Maiden. So here's this tour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dates plus Louisville, 12. That is a very short run of dates for a world tour, for the North American tour. And they are doing Mexico this winter. But, like, it's a lot of money to do a big tour like this. And I am super pumped. Megadeth and Anthrax. Although, kind of with the Anthrax new album coming out, I sincerely hope Anthrax is going to do a real proper headline tour. They have not really done a headline tour with 2 openers in a long time. And I want a long set from Anthrax, and I'm not really crazy about I'm not really crazy about half an hour of Anthrax. Not enough for me as a huge Anthrax fan. But, you know, it's a great looking tour. And these shows are going to be insanely in demand. From Iron Maiden's debut to Fear of the Dark. So it should be very interesting. Nothing after the year 1992 is going to be played. That's fucking rad if you love Iron Maiden. Old school set of hits. Mudvayne is wrapping up their tour this weekend. I'm hopeful we're going to cover them in Boston. Not 100% sure, but I think we will. Would like to get this tour covered with Static X and Vended. If not, we'll catch them on the next one. Ghost Cult broke the news that Mudvayne was reuniting and touring, and we've covered them, but I haven't been able to go see them personally, so that's a bummer. Foo Fighters also announced a brief tour today, and again, like, maybe it's just financially not viable. I know they have a new album coming up, and I know they have, a lot of new things, but here's the Foo Fighters Stadium Tour. Toronto, Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, Philly, Nashville, DC, Fargo, Regina, Canada, Edmonton, Alberta, Vancouver, British Columbia, Las Vegas. So maybe they're going to add more dates. More shows to come as well. Keep an eye out. But not a lot of dates. Not a lot of confidence. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I saw Iron Maiden and Anthrax many, many times. Anthrax is probably one of the bands I've seen the most, over 30 times. I'm from New York City. I had a lot of opportunities to see them. Maiden, I've seen quite a bit, and I always love them, and they always put on a great show. And Megadeth will bring it because it's their farewell. Megadeth in the middle slot should be pretty solid for like 45 minutes. And I think that 45 minutes, 55 minutes, like maybe almost an hour, but very, very solid. Very solid. So Foo Fighters also new stuff with them. Dream Theater, we're covering the Dream Theater show tonight in upstate New York, in the Albany area of the Parasomnia. An evening with Dream Theater should be a fantastic show. Await the coverage for that next week or the week after. Russian Circles has announced a European spring and summer tour with Pelican, including festivals like Desert Fest, the Dunk Festival, Desert Fest Berlin, so Desert Fest Oslo, Desert Fest Berlin, and a few others. So that looks really cool. Love both those bands. Ithaca, yeah, just about. Bayway has been on the road since some of that Biohazard tour got canceled. They are picking back up with the tour tonight in Pontiac, Michigan, so that show is probably already underway. And then Montreal, Toronto, Brooklyn, which we may cover, Worcester, Allentown, Sayreville, and New Haven, Connecticut. So that's pretty exciting. Better Lovers is on tour in the UK and Europe. Very exciting for that. Bon Jovi announced a big tour today. Not that many shows also. And John Bon Jovi has been having hearing problems and voice problems. So I hope we don't have another Jane's Addiction situation on our hands where he can't hear himself and the band is getting louder and louder. I Do the Yells is back. What's up? So I just worry about it. But big year for Bon Jovi. New album, a recent deluxe edition of their album, Coffee Table Book. I'm still trying to get my hands on it. FedEx is kind of killing me with this. But yeah, Bon Jovi fans get excited. I don't know that Bon Jovi is going to do 10 more years of this. I could see 5 or less. Jeff Tate is doing his final tour of Queensryche material. Operation Mindcrime, the final chapter, is kicking off in just a few weeks in Salt Lake City. Beverly Hills has a show. That's weird. Roseville, Fresno, San Juan Capistrano. A lot of California. Mostly Southern California. Oh, well. But yeah, looking forward to that. These shows coming up in December. Bleeding Through, God Forbid, Darkest Hour, and Nora at Wally's. Holy hell. Holy hell. Pussifer, we have a new Pussifer song and album. The Normal Isn't tour was announced with opening guest Dave Hill, friend to Ghost Cult. Would love for him to hang out with us for a while for maybe. So that's going to be fun. And new Pussifer song kind of rips. We'll talk about that in a second. Today is the Day Never Give In tour is coming soon. Very exciting for that. Bastards of the Holy Riff, Atomic Bitchwax, and Crowbot are kicking off their new tour tomorrow night in Syracuse. Well, speaking of Trustkill, Walls of Jericho has booked a handful of shows around their appearance at the Headbangers Boat coming up soon with Lamb of God. Check out Oceans Run Black. That sounds cool. Give us a DM there, and I will check out the band, my friend. And I think Walls of Jericho also has like some first time ever on vinyls put out by Trustkill. So that's kind of fresh. Hopefully they have them to sell at least at the local shows. I have always liked Walls of Jericho. Paradise Lost continues their Ascension tour with Mesa and High Parasite. Our review of this is already live. What else? Helmet Dwarves, Blood Vulture on tour. I'm going to miss this show in my town because I have other things I have to do, but I'm hoping we're going to cover this later in the tour this week, perhaps. Iron Maiden, The Pooper. Thanks to Don Dillamont for sending this to me. I have some Dawn-related news coming soon. Again, if you feel like feeling tipsy, feel free to give us some tips. Show us some love. We appreciate it. It's helpful. Helps us keep the lights on. All right. Again, our affiliate partners for this podcast are Fable Beard Company. If you want to have an awesome beard like me, they have great products for men, all natural. We don't rep anything we don't personally like or use. Sign up with our link in the description to get your men. And they also have a femme brand Fable Beauty. And they're running a huge sale right now, like a Halloween sale. So check it out. Lamb Goat, when you see ads on our website, that is from our partnership with the Lamb Goat Media Network. They have a bunch of brands in their portfolio, and we are one of them. So Lamb Goat, the meaner version of Ghost Cult. And then, again, of course, except for y'all on the Tick of the Talk, we are using StreamYard to bring you this presentation. Stream on all your socials all at the same time. Pull in comments and questions. Post unilaterally across everything. Super good. Thanks so much for sharing the live, DJ Crimson. You're awesome. I will give you a follow when this show is over. We're on all the social things. We have a newsletter. You should sign up for that. We have a Linktree that we update daily with the latest stories and the biggest stories of the day. That is all the festivals and concert tours. Now for a quick blast of all the news, rumors, and drama this week. Ozzy Osbourne has another New York Times bestseller, right? I was talking about this last week that it was probably going to land on the bestseller list. It did. So Last Rites by Ozzy is a New York Times bestseller yet again. Also at the Ozzy Osbourne Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery with the Working Class Hero exhibition about Ozzy in his hometown, they have the ultra rare Ozzy Osbourne shell toe Adidas. Maybe they're not shell toe, but they're the black with the purple for the colors of Aston Villa and Black Sabbath. These are apparently some of the rarest sneakers in the world. They were never really sold to the public. They were only made for like 300 pairs ever. So that's Ozzy's pair, I think. A lot of comments and commentary on Metallica's performance last week at Dreamforce. Some people are saying they were there and they had an incredible time. Other people are like, yo, it was a whole sea of non-Metallica fans. You know, it was a corporate event. It's a corporate convention that Metallica plays. They have a long-time partnership with Salesforce here in the Bay Area. Not a big fan of their company, but, you know, it is what it is. Axl Rose is back to being Axl Rose. Hopefully this means we're going to get some more kick-ass music from Guns N' Roses at some point. Apparently he was having a inner ear monitor malfunctions and threw a complete fucking hissy fit meltdown on stage during his recent concert. He absolutely kicked Isaac Carpenter's drum and tossed his microphone into the drum kit. Not particularly mad at Isaac. It's kind of very unprofessional behavior, but I know that Axl, when his situation is not to his liking, he gets kind of pissy. And then they put out a statement today, like, obviously we love Isaac. He's been great. We are just mad at the sound. This is fucking awesome. The brand new Prime Minister of Japan, who for the first time Japan has a female Prime Minister, I believe this is Tanake Achikaki. I hope I said that correctly. She is a huge metalhead and was a metal drummer in her younger days and listens to metal. So Japan just got 100% more metal. That is fucking rad. I'm into it. Speaking of Trust Kill, if you were a fan of soundtracks like Saw, the Saw 6 soundtrack is getting a vinyl re-release for an anniversary edition for the 15th anniversary of Saw 6, and the vinyl looks like saw blades. That is fucking cool. I don't know how much it is, but it's got my interest peaked. Pussifer, again, their new album, Normal Isn't, is coming out soon, and they said that it's going to be a much more guitar-orientated album while also leaning into the band's like post-punk and goth, you know, vibes, as opposed to maybe some of the synthwave and pop, sort of dream pop that they've been doing, but hard, because that's Pussifer. They go hard. But I'm really excited based on that first track, Self-Evident. And looking forward to this record coming out in February. We're already getting the announcements of the 2026 albums. Already shaping up to be a banger of year. Another Treskell band, Shattered Realm, has some first times on vinyl. Pretty cool. Dave McClain, one of my favorite drummers of all time, who I just saw last week with Dark Angel, is now out of Sacred Reich. Sacred Reich put out a statement. It was pretty to the point and terse, as we say. They do have a backup drummer coming on, Edward Baldo, to play the tour with Hatebreed in a couple of days. And then Dave put out a statement today, like, I love performing for you. I'll be back. I just am not in that band anymore. So that kind of sucks, huh? I love that guy. Dave McClain, formerly of Machine Head, and now, once again, formerly of Sacred Reich. Here's John Bon Jovi. Speaking of John Bon Jovi, just hanging out at the No Kings protests in Philadelphia. Pretty rad to see John Bon Jovi's not a billionaire, but he's like at least 100 millionaire, right? And he's at the No Kings protest, just hanging out with people. And someone saw him and it was like, hey, aren't you John Bon Jovi? And he was like, yes, I am. He's a little runaway. Oh, I'm kidding. Oh, hey, if you watch some of our other podcasts or seen some of our interviews on our YouTube and our podcast, my buddy Don DeLamont. He is actually putting out an incredible album of dark folk and Americana. One of the lucky things about Ghost Cult is because we don't have rock in our name or metal something, we can kind of cover whatever we want to do. So if you like Marissa Nadler and Amigo the Devil and Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, you might dig this record from Don. So yeah, check it out. Jeff DFW is here. What up? What up? Yeah, check out Don's new single dropped today, and he's got pre-orders at Bandcamp and Ampwall. Also, not necessarily something you come to Ghost Cult for, but there is a 25th anniversary edition coming out of Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys live at the Roxy Theater. Now, this live album really put him back in the game as far as being a touring musician. Kind of acrimony between him and the rest of the Beach Boys was something very real. I'm very sad that Brian was ill and passed away earlier this year, but this album is fresh and it has kind of like Brian's solo stuff he was inspired by and influenced by, as well as all the Beach Boys classics. And it really gave him the confidence to come back out. So I'm hoping to pick this up at some point or have them send it to me. Just a little bit of movie minutia for you. I saw Tron Ares last night. Sorry, Tron Legacy was 15 years ago. Tron Ares was fucking awesome. I might do a review of it on the channel alongside the soundtrack review. I thought it was great. I know it's doing bad at the movies and it may not get a sequel, but it seemed like they were setting up future sequels with Jared Leto and the cast. And also coming out this week is Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, which is the biography of the early, pre-Nebraska Springsteen, Born to Run and all that stuff, Jungle Land, all those songs came from there. And Jeremy Allen White of The Bear and formerly of the TV show, the American version of Shameless, is the star as the young Springsteen. It also features a pretty great cast. So I am interested in seeing this at some point this weekend. I'm not the biggest, I love Bruce, but I'm not the biggest diehard Bruce fan. I'm from New York. I love Billy Joel. But Bruce is cool. He's got some great songs. And that is all the news. I whipped through that. We're about to run to the end of the show. We've got just a few more things to discuss. And one of the things we're going to discuss is the new albums out this week for New Music Friday. Every week we do a video preview of the new records you need to pick up and spin. And you can check it out on all our socials, but it's usually on YouTube and our website. Tomorrow, we'll have a post on our website with those albums with buy links. So this is where you can get. Here's all the records coming out this week, and I'm going to do band, the title, the label if they have one, and a little commentary if that helps you. So again, the brutal death metal deathcore band, the Acacia Strain's new album, You Are Safe From God, here out on Rise Records. I just interviewed Devin, their guitarist. Adept Blood Covenant on Napalm Records for some heavy metal. We've got Adunantin, Apocryphal Verse on Nameless Grave Records. Bergfried Romantique 3 on High Roller Records for some heavy metal. Black Shape, Prismer Eye EP on Papercut Records. Bone Church Deliverance on Ripple Music for some stoner doom psychedelic rock. Bonginator Retro Death on Testimony Records, great band. Let's see what else. Breath Brahmin on Argonauta Records is usually for some stoner doom and heavy metal. We ran our review of this album today. Cattle Mass for the sci-fi LA doom band Alpha 1128 on Seeing Red Records. Cemetery Moon, Dominion of Ashes for some black and death metal. Syntenex with Guts and Glory on Black Lion Records. Conjurer Unself on Nuclear Blast Records. Let's see. Dawn Fades 3, good band. We interviewed them a while ago. Dayseeker for your metalcore. Creature in the Black Night on Spine Farm Records. Day Tripper, the Alchemist EP. Deteriot, Awakening on Extreme Music for some death metal. Doropesh, Warriors of the Sea on her own Rare Diamonds Records. Downswing and Everything Was Dark for some metalcore deathcore on Monarch Heavy. Esprit d'Hier Aeons on Starstorm Records. Five Finger Death Punch, 20 years of Five Finger Death Punch, the best of Volume 2. Yikes. Goatfather, House of the Rising Smoke on Argonauta Records for some Stoner Doom. Hail the Sun, Cut, Turn, Fade, Fade Back on Equal Vision Records. Heavy Pettin, Rock Generation for some hard rock on Silver Lining Music. Jet Jaguar, Severance on Steamhammer SPD Records for some heavy metal. Karate Steve, Time Under Tension, self-released. Lars Frederick Forsil, Quattro Racconti on Charisma Records. Leah Martin Brown, Love and Other Crimes on Frontiers SRL for some hard rock, heavy metal. Leprous, An Evening of Atonement. That is the Norwegian progressive metal band who is made up of Ishan's backup band. Piercing Ken is here. What's up, Ken? Piercing Metal. Mammoth, that's Wolfgang Van Halen's new album, The End, coming out. Mastiff, For All the Dead Dreams EP, one of my favorite bands, so brutal. Sludge and Death Doom. Church Road Records. Nine Treasures, Seeking the Absolute on Metal Blade Records. Psychonaut, World Maker on Pelagic Records. Ronnie Romero, singer of Rainbow, the current version of Rainbow, if that's still a thing. Backbone on Frontiers SRL. Serena Telly, Green on Metalville Records for some progressive metal and heavy metal. We've interviewed her before. Serge Tankian's new solo album covers, collaborations, and collages on his own Surgical Strike Records. Shiraz Lane in Vertigo on Frontiers SRL. Soulfly's new album, Chama. It is a beast. Stay tuned for my new interview with Max Cavalera, like my 10th interview with Max in 20 years. Sumo Psycho's new album, Neon Void, very underrated. Speed, All My Angels EP for some hardcore on Flat Spot Records. Vows for some goth. We'll be listening to this tomorrow at the house, Melissa. I'll Fill Your House with an Army, Out of Line Records. And Wino, Create or Die on Ripple Music, his latest solo album. And now, Wrathchild America's comeback record, or re-release of a comeback record, the Climbing the Walls re-release on Dissonance Records. So that is all the new music coming out. Let us end the show. We're going to do the mailbag. And what is in the mailbag? I'm going to re-begin me. And this week in the mailbag, this is really cool. If you've been a fan of the channel, there's an artist I'm a huge fan of named Joey Diabolic. Joey is originally from the Hudson Valley region in upstate New York. He lived in LA for a while. He's a solo artist, graphic designer, metal guy. He's done an array of covers as diverse as John Carpenter horror movie soundtracks, Typo Negative, just incredible stuff. And he has actually put together a brand new magazine called HV Scene and Beyond. And this is the debut issue. He sent me a bunch. I may be, if you check out Joey Diabolic on YouTube and on Facebook and things, you can order this from him. But if you're interested, I have a bunch of copies. So maybe I will give them away if people ask for enough interest. It's photography, interviews, just very cool looking magazine. Ghost Cult started as a zine in much the same way, so I'm always very respectful. And shout out to Joey for putting this together and making this. I'm really proud of him. DJ Crimson, DM us, and if you want to share your address, we'll send you a little care package. It's our anniversary, so we're sending out a lot of free stuff that we've acquired. If you have vinyl, I have some vinyl. If you prefer CD, I probably got some CDs or cassettes, depending on the genre. I might have some shirts to send out. Give us a follow and a like. Check out what we do. If you like it, cool. If you don't, also cool, because I understand I'm not for everybody. And with that out of the way, that's the end of the show. I am Keefe of GhostCultMag.com. We will be back on Monday with more band interviews. Stay tuned to your socials for GhostCultMag.com. Content, news, reviews, festivals, concert reviews, and all that jazz. Thanks to everybody who watched. I appreciate you. I'm going to go start my weekend by getting out of Dodge. I'm going to dance a jig on the way out. Thanks for being here. Don't drink and drive.